Hello, everyone who is able to see my videos. A big thing that, as I'm looking through different things on various platforms, especially as my brain starts, I keep saying coming back online after going through a burnout, and being in recovery from that, is there's a lot of things from other countries and even from within the country that I'm in that's being suppressed when it's really positive messages of support, or messages that are trying to help people see beyond the fear, see beyond having a certain side, feeling like they have to fully agree with something or not, feeling like they have to defend themselves and defend their position. And that's not what it's about. There are a lot of things where people are not seeing, and for years haven't, what's going on in other countries. In America, one of the difficulties is our country is so large. And we do have all these states, and we do have land that demonstrates various natural structures and beauty and everything. And so many Americans never even get a passport. They don't travel outside of the country. And yes, you have access to all these different places to see these natural things as well as man-made things that are all places you can go just driving in your car if you want to. If you don't want to get on a plane, you can just drive in your car. Or if you do want to get on a plane, you can get to these places that may take hours in your car. I moved my camera, and so now it's still adjusting, apparently, the mount. Anyway, like, it can feel like we have everything at our fingertips, but one of the problems is you lose a worldview. Where your worldview comes from are opinions of others who may have traveled outside of the country. TV shows or movies or things like that you may see. Jokes about different cultures that are perpetuated. Information from the past or even from our history books that isn't always accurate information. There's so many things that create a lot of division for us and isolation as well. And it's not that there aren't great things within the country. It's that there are also great things outside of our country. There are great people all over the world. There are intelligent, creative, amazing people everywhere. But you're not getting access to see all of them. Already, I'm pretty sure Facebook came out about how years ago, I think maybe even during one of the Obama elections, the algorithms made it to where, or the algorithms were programmed, however you want to say it, to where people, especially those who were extremely one way or the other, left, right, Democratic, Republican, whatever you want to say. I've been unaffiliated. Let me try that again. I have been unaffiliated since I was 18. Because even when I was in school and learned about the government structure, I was like, no, I am not choosing one side or the other. It is not, it's funny, I'm wearing black and white today, but it is not black or white. It is gray. It is based on the situation. It's based on all these different things. I am never going to go in and just vote for one party or another because that's the party my family voted for, or that's the party that I feel most alignment with, or whatever. Because let's face it, there can be things that somebody represents that you don't feel right about. And so why would you vote for them just because they are certain parties? And I've said this since I was younger too, are just a way to create more division. And what's the easiest way to manage or control people? You create division, you create fear, because fear will make people do things that they might not otherwise do. I can't remember if I alluded to this study in a private video that I sent someone, or if this is something that I've shared on my public platforms. But anyone who's studied even basic psychology probably is familiar with Henry Milgram and the Henry Milgram experiment. If you're not, I'll try to do just a really quick explanation of what that was. So it was a psychological experiment in which people were not given any information, not debriefed afterwards, nothing. Like it is the reason you hear about it in even like Psychology 101 or Intro to Psych is because it is the study that really set a standard for ethical guidelines to research studies, or at least psychological research studies. Doesn't mean people go by those things all the time. They should, but of course we know that there are plenty of people and institutions and things like that that will go around these things. But the Henry Milgram experiment, basically, and I am not going to explain it completely 100% the way that you would read it in a textbook, but the premise was to see how far people could be pushed, how far they would go if they were presented with someone who was seen as an authority figure. So these people were in this room with somebody who was in like this white lab coat type thing, or white coat. You know, when we see those, we think of doctors, we think of people who are in these positions of knowledge, information, and power, right? So people were set up, and there was this big, like, setup in front of them in which there were buttons and voltage meters and things like that. And they couldn't see the other person in the study. But the basic premise is these people that they couldn't see who were in another room supposedly were hooked up to these shock devices. And so the people in the room with the person with the white coat were instructed to send a shock to the person in the other room that they couldn't see, they could only hear. If they incorrectly, I don't remember if it was spelled something or said something, whatever it was, if they did it incorrectly, then the person in the room with the person with the white coat was supposed to send a shock to the person. Now, even on the board, I think there was something that indicated that, you know, this level of voltage is seriously dangerous or fatal. And yet, time after time, even when people in that other room, not knowing whether it was real or not, did not want to send a shock because they were hearing the other person screaming as if they were in agony or pain or whatever, the person in the white coat was present. And I can't remember, maybe even telling them, you know, they have to do this, but just having the presence there was enough. That time and time again, people would continue not knowing that they weren't actually shocking someone, to shock them to the point of the highly dangerous, fatal level of voltage. And this was difficult because how many of us can think about if you're in a situation you don't even know the person and they're not even doing anything significantly wrong. They're getting the answer to a question incorrect. That's all that they're doing. And yet you're willing, because there's somebody in a white coat, to shock them possibly to death, or even into a state where they're having a medical emergency. So you can imagine how difficult this was for people to come to terms with and understand that being what I'm sure they felt were kind, caring, compassionate people, that because there was somebody in the room who was telling them that they had to, or represented that authority figure, that they would. So keep this in mind, because there are really good, caring, compassionate, empathetic people. And we've all been taught and socialized to follow the rules and to trust authority. And if you don't trust authority, there are consequences. Now, whether these are direct consequences or even just if the milk industry tells you that doctors recommend that you drink milk because if you don't, then the calcium in your bones is going to decrease and you're going to have bone disease or something like that. And sometimes there are real consequences that come from that. But we get these messages of what we should do every single day. And some of those, there's a good reason for. Should you drink and then go out driving? No, that makes sense. Because when you drink, you can be impaired. And you go out driving, and the consequences could be even more for other people than for you. Because if you are drunk, your body doesn't brace up if you have an accident. And so a lot of people come out of it unscathed, maybe some cuts and bruises, and that's about it. But somebody else lost their life. So there are some rules that it makes sense for us to follow. And then there are some that it doesn't. And I just feel really called to say, if you're feeling very fearful right now, pull yourself back, limit your social media intake, or go into the search bar and look for people who are uplifting and bringing in messages of hope or not fearing things, of community, of unity, of standing up for each other, of not just following along because it's what we've been taught or it seems like the easy thing to do, or because of fear that maybe I made the wrong choice. There are some people who are very angry at the choice that people made, and they're willing to lower themselves to the same energy that others present of this attacking and anger. But anger is a secondary emotion. Anger can be embarrassment, shame, guilt, fear, hunger. It's not wrong about the hangry. It can be so many different things. It could be hurt. All these things can create anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. But stepping into that energy isn't helping anyone. So instead, we have to uplift each other. And we have to come together and we have to build community. And I know this is one of the big themes of a lot of the readings that I've done recently. Even in the one that I did where I was half asleep, I had to go back and watch it because I didn't remember a lot of that reading. In fact, the next morning I was going to post it, but I had even forgotten that I had done the reading until later in the day. I was like, oh wait, I did her reading last night. And I watched the video before I uploaded it. And even in that, it talked about building community. You can pull away to reflect inwardly about what it is that you feel is right and wrong, what it is that you feel you need to do for yourself. Because building yourself up and having the energy to be able to do whatever it is that you can do, even if that's taking care of yourself, your family, things like that, then that's what you need to do. You don't want to deplete your energy because then you can't do anything. But it's pulling out of that fear. It's pulling out of that constant worry that if I don't do this or I don't do that, it's going to lead to something bad. We can't put our heads in the sand and ignore things. We can't continue to have blinders on and like the spot on the carpet that won't come out. If I pretend that I don't see it, if I look away real quick, maybe it won't irritate me. We can't do that. But at the same time, we have to understand that our vision also is intentionally being limited. And there are people out there who truly are the helpers, who truly are trying to share with you the support, the concern, the love, the community. And also to share the concerns, the worry that there's so many people who are stuck and cannot see things and don't understand or have access to information outside of what they've learned, what's in their community, or what they see on the news or social media, whatever it is. Understand the algorithms are in place, one, to show you more information that is similar to what you viewed before. Or as we know, that maybe you talk about and now you're having advertisements for this or whatever. But algorithms can also be used to suppress the information that may be the most helpful to you. So if you see something that resonates with you and you feel like it's a helpful message to someone, share it. If you feel alone and you're only seeing certain things on your feed, look for other things. If you're not finding it on the platform that you're on, go on another platform. Because I promise you there are people out there who are similar to you. And that you don't have to feel like you have to fit into this narrow box. You don't. I'm not getting across all of the things that I want to say. But that's because there's this high frequency noise that is coming in from something going on back here. And it's a bit distracting, so I apologize. I have sensitivities to light, sound, smells, all kinds of things, and it can be very annoying. But I think the basic messages are getting through. When it comes to my videos and my content, I don't mind whether I get likes or I don't get likes. I don't mind whether I have a lot of followers. I don't mind whether people save my videos or repost them. If you do that, thank you. If any of the messages that I feel called to share or anything I create resonates with someone or brings some value to them or helps in some way, that makes my heart happy. That makes me very happy. But I'm not in it to get likes and things. If there are people that the message isn't meant for, that's okay. The message isn't meant for you. I'm not upset about that. I have pushed through a lot since, when did I start really coming on camera? It was 2022. 2022 was a big year for me. That was the year that I came out about not just being an empath, but talking about dreams that I've had that have come true, talking about mediumship, talking about communicating with spirits, talking about all these different things that I had to step through my fear of how people would view me, especially being in the field that I've worked in for so long, to be able to share what I needed to and to connect with people who needed to hear these things. And it was scary. But now I just get on. I don't edit the videos. I have on makeup right now because I feel like wearing it. I even sometimes go to work and I don't have makeup on. But I have makeup on today. I enjoy wearing makeup sometimes because it's fun to like play at my eyes. I have very light colored eyelashes and eyebrows. So if I don't have the mascara on, you don't see these long lashes. They're too light. But it's just fun to wear the makeup sometimes. I came on here and did a video in my nightgown with a blanket around me because I'm cold natured, and no makeup, my hair pulled back, very tired. Like I said, I didn't even remember some of the reading. I started laughing when I realized that I was getting so tired that I start getting really giggly and sing-songy and stuff like that, because my husband already knows. Like, he'll hear me and he's like, babe, you need to go to sleep, because at that point everything is funny, and the songs and noises and things like that I try to keep inside a lot of times, unless I'm fully unmasked and just being myself, start coming out when I'm really tired. Maybe part of it's age, Maybe part of it is just you realize what's the point. But I've realized it doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter if people even were to comment on, oh, you should wear makeup, or I can't believe you're on there in your pajamas, or why didn't you edit that out? I don't care. It doesn't matter. And I feel like this is important for people to hear too. And I'm at 20 minutes. Good Lord. Be yourself. Stop buying in. I thought I was going to use some cards, but I guess not. Maybe I'll pull one or two. We'll see. Because I do enjoy that too. But stop buying into what you think everybody else wants you to be, what you think that everybody wants you to do. Stop buying into this idea that you have to believe a certain way or you have to fit into a certain box. As long as you are not doing anything that is harming yourself or harming others, and I often say anything that's illegal because I don't want people going out and doing illegal things. But as long as you're not doing anything that is going to harm yourself, harm others, or cause any serious trouble that's unnecessary, however you want to put it, do what you want to do. Live your life and be yourself. So we'll pull a couple of cards from the Signs of the Times deck by Crystal Banner. Yeah, just, we've really got to be ourselves. We've really got to get out of this habit of trying to be all this stuff for other people. Feeling like you've got to have on your makeup. Feeling like you've got to have everything perfect. I think in another reading that was in my car, or message that was in my car, whatever you want to call it, I talked about not waiting for the perfect time to do something. You know, doing things as you go. Because if you wait for the perfect time, which perfect is not a thing anyway. If you wait for the perfect time, you may never do it. So just do it. You know, they say do it scared. Do it scared. Do it whatever. Just do it. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. If it feels right and it's not hurting anyone, hurting yourself, anything like that, it's not this horrible act or whatever, do that too. Just be you. Stop feeling like you got to fit into this box. I was the intelligent, nerdy kid who broke the curve and got really high scores on tests. And I had been really talkative for a while when I was in elementary school. And then I was a bit more quiet as I got older. And I let anxiety control my life for a while. And now I've just learned, if people make fun of me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, we'll see if there's one more. I don't even know what time it actually is right now. My time blindness can be really bad. Yeah, just be yourself. Stop worrying about what other people think. That's how we, that's how we get into these situations, that we're just blindly following people or situations that do not feel good to us, that are not in alignment with what we want. And then later, I am so glad that I have lost over 100 pounds. That is awesome, because I can reach down and get that. That makes sense. And then later, we're sitting there going, why did I do that? I didn't even want to do that. Like, I didn't even enjoy that. And now I feel bad. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. All right, so first card, the number is 10. We have a dime and a penny, coins, good luck. With this, when I get this card in readings for people, the other part of the message is loved ones. Like, you know, pennies from heaven, or some people say, you know, if you find a dime, that it's a loved one saying hello to you. So this, I feel like, is even a message to say, whatever you believe, divine, higher guidance, ancestors, loved ones, spirits, guides, angels, God, whatever it is, you've got divine support. You've got support outside of just what you see. And like I said, even among people that you haven't seen in other places, there's support. So understand that that it's okay. You have to be cautious. So we've got 32, a traffic cone, and it says caution. You have to be cautious. And this is what I was saying. You don't want to go out there and just do all this random crap and then it's not helping you. Be cautious, and be cautious of what you believe. Be cautious of who you trust. Be cautious of what you follow. I think that's why I was supposed to talk about the Henry Milgram studies. Just be cautious. So, and 3-2 is 5, and this year ends in 5. Today's the 10th. 5 and 5 is 10. Numbers can be important too, and we just had 10 here as well. It's 10th, and this is the 10th card. Pay attention to different things. I'm really great at pattern recognition. That's just part of how my brain works. I'm really good at pulling things together. But I feel like whether your brain works that way or not, a big thing is just pay attention. If something feels off, it is. With the sunflower, which is 34, 3-4 of course breaks down to a 7. The word is action. We've got orange and yellow here. We've also got these very earthy grounding colors. So definitely go ground yourself, or however that is, going out in nature, doing a meditation, things like that. Okay, good. I've got plenty of time. With the yellow and the orange, yellow, that solar plexus chakra. And I've talked about how when we are unbalanced with our solar plexus chakra, we're feeling very anxious, worried. We may not move because of fear. There's a lot of doubt that comes from that. And then when we are balanced in that solar plexus, we're more ourselves. We're feeling more confident. We're feeling even like in tune with our bodies. And then when it comes to the orange, the sacral chakra, yes, that relates to passion and intimacy, but it also relates to creativity and that passion within your creativity, doing things that you love, doing things you enjoy. And if you don't know what that is, then you definitely need to be going outside, grounding yourself, or sitting somewhere and just thinking about, what are the things that I love? What are the things I want to do? Because we can't just stay stuck. Look at how stark this sunflower is against the background. And as I'm looking at it, and then the sun was out earlier, but we're supposed to have rain this afternoon. And so the sky is already completely gray, and it was a bright sun on my way here. So this is even playing out right now for me. But recognizing that even when things look dim, even when things are dark, you can even think Harry Potter. What is it that Dumbledore says? When things are dark, one only needs to turn on the light, or something like that. Be the light. And part of that is going to be doing things that you love, things you enjoy, focusing on those things. Don't feel like because things are hard right now that you can't do that, because part of the way that you get through that difficulty is being able to bring in the light, which makes sense why this card that fell on the floor, which the number for this one is 2, flamingo, fun, is coming through. And look at all that green, that heart chakra with the pink and the green. Whew. I'm feeling a swell of like just joy in my heart. Pay attention to what you're feeling in your heart space. That's part of what you need to focus on as far as what you want to do, what you want to create, who you want to be, hobbies you may want to get involved in, community groups you may want to get involved in. Yes, there's a lot going on, but if you are depleted, drained, fearful, angry, whatever those emotions are, and you're in a space where it's not creating action, where you're trying to do things to create meaningful changes, it's not going to be helpful to you. So it's time to get back into this space of being able to feel love, to play, to feel comfortable within your body, to not feel like you have to be or do any certain thing except for be a light. Archangel Raphael came into the reading that I did the other night. And like the card even came out from the Angels and Auras deck. Radley Valentine and Dougal Fraser. I really need to look up how to say that. But anyway, maybe you call on Archangel Raphael. He is the angel of the heart chakra. He is the angel of love and healing. It is time to really focus on loving yourself, loving those around you, creating a vibration of love that gets us out of this vibration of fear that is creating and manifesting so much of what people are afraid of. There's so many things you can't control. You cannot control other people. You cannot control what they do. You cannot control what they say. The only things you control are yourself and your responses. And if you need to take a break and you need to be able to get back into that heart space and that energy of fun, do that. It may even be like the flamingos, and these are those plastic yard flamingos. If you need to feel like you're being a little wacky or whatever, if you need to dye your hair like I have, just, I don't have a lot of control over things, but I can dye my hair and have fun. Dye your hair and have fun. You want to put on fun makeup, put on fun makeup. You want to do your nails fun like I've done. They're not even symmetrical. I've got a shamrock with a heart. We're not celebrating St. Patrick's Day here in this car. We are celebrating cultures. And the Irish culture, they are people who know what suppression and government control and things like that are. They deserve to be celebrated. And then also my wedding anniversary is coming up. So a silhouette of a couple there, a heart and a silhouette of a couple there. And then a symbol of life, a symbol of different cycles and changes, and also of unity. And then we've got the green, which, as I said, is heart chakra related. Step into that fun and playful and creative space. Even if you think that you're not a fun, creative, and playful person, figure out what that is for you. I can't believe I've been in here for 31 minutes, so I definitely need to go inside and get ready for my next appointment. But this felt important. Be you. Find the people like you. Find a way to be comfortable within yourself. When you do that, and you feel comfortable within yourself, that is where you find a way to be able to move out of that fear, to move out of that anger that's not productive. If it's anger that is productive and without violence, you can be able to push forward and advocate for change, do that. But if you are too angry or you are too passive and you're pulling back and you're hiding because of fear, that's not okay. If you're pulling back because you need to build up your energy to be able to face things, to be able to do things that are helpful to you and others, do that too. Take away the guilt and shame. Stop worrying about what others think and focus on what you feel is truly 100% the right thing to do. All right, I think that's more than enough of the message. Take care.